It's time for the Rutherford County High School Football Show.
Today's show is brought to you by Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery and Med Spa, your hometown plastic surgeon that has been voted your favorite for the last several years. Dr. Webb and staff are honored to wish you a safe and successful football season. Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. The Yard Sale Store, where all items are up to 90% off. Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage. If you're buying, building, or refinancing your home in Rutherford County, give him a call at 615-596-2006. Garbison Construction, they have been impacting and investing in people's lives in Rutherford County for nearly 3 decades, providing quality construction services for additions, remodels, and new construction on residential and commercial projects. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk.
And now, from Toots Restaurant in Murfreesboro, please welcome the hosts of the Rutherford County High School Football Show, Murfreesboro Post Sports Editor Monty Hale and Nick Gould.
Good morning and welcome to the Rutherford County High School Football Show. I'm Nick Gould and alongside me is Murfreesboro Post Sports Editor Monty Hale. We're here at Toots Restaurant on Broad Street in Murfreesboro to give you everything you need to know about high school football for all 11 teams in Rutherford County. We're into October now, and it's fall break this week, so most of our Rutherford teams are on bye. Today we'll recap all Rutherford County games played last week and take a look at how those results affect the standings. We also have an interview with Eagleville running back Brody McLemore and another interview with Vergne head coach Mike Woodward. We will be announcing this week's Player of the Week and previewing next week's matchup. Since most teams are on bye, we will take a look at each team's remaining games and determine what they need to do to make the playoffs. The Rutherford County High School Football Show is presented by Webb Aesthetic, your hometown plastic surgeon who has been voted your favorite for the last several years. Dr. Webb and staff are honored to wish you a safe and successful football season. Let's start with some of our Thursday night games. Some schools were looking to get a head start on fall break and allow the students and families to travel on Friday if they're going out of town. Riverdale hosted Cane Ridge on Thursday and, well, didn't really allow them to get into this game at all. The Warriors won big 49-7. This Riverdale segment is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Braden Graham threw for 17 for 23 for 340 yards and 6 touchdowns. Brock Montgomery hauled in 5 catches for 141 and 3 touchdowns. Keyshawn Williams caught 6 for 106 and 2 of his own. Jalen Thompson got the other touchdown and ran one in as well. He also had an interception on the other side of the ball. Czar Morris also had a pick, which helped this defense keep Cane Ridge at bay. They seem to struggle all year, Cane Ridge, but Riverdale's hot right now.
Yeah, they 139 points, I think, in their last 3 games. They've really got a lot of weapons. You went over their list of receivers, and they've actually got a couple more, so a lot of talent on that side of the ball. Senior quarterback, they're clicking, and it's going to be interesting the last Friday night of the regular season when they go to Oakland.
A battle for first place, don't you think?
More than likely, yes.
Yeah, and Braden Graham, heck of a day, 6 touchdowns, and like you said, he's got a bunch of weapons in the receiving core, and that certainly helps.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys play defense too. They've got a really good secondary, back 7. If they hold up front, they're tough to move the ball on as well.
They can catch the ball no matter who's throwing it, right?
That's right.
And Monty, actually, you had a pretty good prediction on this game. I believe you had 49-0 Riverdale, and that was the halftime score for pretty much most of the game.
Yeah, they were able to take care of all their business in the first half and just shut it down. And and Cane Ridge has struggled mightily this year, and we're accustomed to them being the best, one of the best teams around, including Rutherford County, anywhere in the mid-state, and it's just not happening this year.
Yeah. Well, that's our Riverdale segment brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Stewart's Creek traveled to Clarksville on Thursday to take on the other creek, and the Red Hawks beat West Creek 45-14. The Stewart's Creek segment is brought to you by Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage. If you're buying, building, or refinancing your home in Rutherford County, give them a call. Kenny Jordan ran in 3 touchdowns, and Javarian Ote ran one in as well. Defense also forced a fumble in the end zone and recovered it for a score. Jerry Taylor also accounted for a 65-yard score. What got it all started, though, was Jeremy Smith's kickoff return for a touchdown. Monty, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, you start a game off like that, it doesn't mean you're going to win, but it kind of gets everybody fired up, sets the tone. Hey, we're the road team, but we're here to play. And Stewart's Creek was ready to play last Thursday.
Yeah, I heard they tried to kick it short and avoid sending it to one of the quicker guys in the back, and I guess they regretted that because he took it all the way to the house.
Yeah, I mean, they it's well known they've got some really good athletes, and just because a guy's an up back doesn't mean he can't necessarily run. Just maybe not as fast as the couple guys behind him, but it's always a great way. But they did it in all areas. They did it on defense, as you mentioned, on offense, and that's a game they went into. They should have won. Their schedule has been a lot tougher, and they came out ready to play.
Yeah, the Battle of the Creeks. I guess Stewart's came out on top this year. And this is your Stewart's Creek segment brought to you by Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage. If you're buying, building, or refinancing your home in Rutherford County, give them a call. Laverne traveled to McGavock on Friday seeking their first region win of the year and came out on top 27-12. This Laverne segment is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Dominic Jones rushed for 2 touchdowns, Drew Holiday returned an interception for a touchdown, and Corey Lattimore had a scoop and score. Glad to see the Wolverines get a big win on Friday night.
Yeah, I just had a feeling they were due. They played pretty good defense most all the whole year, but they really struggled offensively. So their defense kind of got into the act early with 2 scores, and then they were finally able to put some things together. I know they've kind of changed their offense up a little bit. It's kind of taken them time to get going, but that was a big win for them. I mean, they still got a lot to do to talk about the postseason, but their goal's still there.
Yeah.
And
for sure,
they needed to win that game, and they won it pretty comfortably.
Who knows? Maybe turning the offense around at this point in the season, can lead to some more victories here in the home stretch.
I don't think they did a major overhaul, just kind of tweak some things, but it's different. But the schedule schedule's pretty rough for them down the road, so they'll have to have that type of performance,
Yeah, and their defense got a couple touchdowns on the board, but their offense as well came around, got a few scores. A really well-rounded team on Friday.
Yeah, they you practice all that time in the summer and during the season. You don't have anything to show for it hardly. They hadn't won since week 1. They hadn't won a region game, so they kind of got both those monkeys off their back.
That's our Laverne segment brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Smyrna hosted East Nashville in their last non-region game and got the W by a score of 17-14. This Smyrna segment is brought to you by the Yard Sale Store, where all items are up to 90% off. Austin Morris had a big day, completing 22 of 26 for 205 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek McCarver hauled in that touchdown as part of his 8 receptions for 75 yards. Thomas Jones ran in the other score along with 14 carries for 68 yards and a 2-point conversion. Aiden Augustine led the defense with 9 tackles. Jerry Martin accounted for 8. Cade Carter, Tucker Moore, and Thomas Jones each had 6 tackles on the day. Oliver Zetina Martinez kicked the field goal, which gave the Bulldogs the extra 3 points, which were eventually needed to be victorious on the day. Smyrna's hot.
Yeah, they are, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the outcome of this game. I don't think most anybody that follows football around in this area would have picked East Nashville, although they're a 3 or 4A school. They've been a power. They've played teams from Rutherford County and had a lot of success against them. But, Smyrna plays good defense. We even talked about that going, back second, third week of the season. They weren't doing much offensively at all, but their defense was keeping them in it. They had a stretch there where they lost 3 games and only gave up 14 points. So, they've got a chance to maybe even get the second seed in the playoffs. I know we're going to look at that a little later, but you got to like the way they're playing, and it's a big win for that program.
Yeah, I saw East Nashville was driving down the field. I think they blocked the field goal early in the game. Had a big 4th down stop inside the 10. Thomas Jones, actually, I heard he's committed to Vanderbilt now. So congratulations to Thomas. I know
Good player.
He plays both sides of the ball there. That's our Smyrna segment, brought to you by the Yard Sale Store, where all items are up to 90% off. Eagleville traveled to Mount Juliet to take on the Tennessee Heat took care of business 31-9. This Eagleville segment is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Brody McLemore rushed for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. Will Becker threw for 174 yards and a touchdown. Cade Pippinger hauled in 98 yards and a touchdown as well. On defense, Marshall Spann had 8 tackles, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery. Dawson McCrary had 7 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. Nick Scarlatta and Caden Pippinger also added 6 tackles each. Tennessee Heat added a late touchdown with under 2 minutes, which adjusted the final score, but this was really Eagles all game.
Yeah, it was, and they needed it. They were in the midst of a pretty tough 3-game stretch there where they didn't have any success. And, this is a homeschool team that has had some pretty good players over the years. Maybe not the best of teams, but, it was a good game to schedule, good opponent to go beat up on a little bit, as they say. And, I know that'll do wonders for them as they get back into their region play, not this week or next, but the last 2 of the year will pretty well decide their season and its fate.
Yep, those are some big games coming up. Another well-rounded game. Defense held them to 3 points for 95% of the game. Offense putting up some big points.
You brought up Marshall Spann on defense. I mean, he's just a tackle machine from the linebacker position, and that's what you like to see.
Yep.
If your safety is making all the tackles, that's not a good thing because they're getting deep. They're getting deep into your defense where, you got a linebacker making play. I mean, he's every week it's 8 to 12 tackles, forced fumble, interception. I mean, he's, certainly making his case to be an all-conference player in that league.
Yeah, good job on the game there, Marshall. And I was in Mount Juliet on Friday and got to see the Eagles get the win. I stayed after the game to get an interview with senior running back Brody McLemore. Let's go to that now. Here at Mount Juliet with senior quarterback, now running back, Brody McLemore. Brody, tell us about this big win you had today against Tennessee Heat.
First half we were pretty slow. We just couldn't get some things down up front, but after that first half we came out. Our linemen really stepped up, and they have all year. They protected me. We just started moving the ball down the field, coming together as a team, really like a machine. Everything. You're missing a part, you're not going to run well, you're not going to play well. So once we all came together, we started playing well, we just succeeded, and that's what we should do when we come together.
I know you said it was kind of a slow start. Y'all did come out real hot with a kick return for a touchdown. Tell us about how that really rallied the troops to get going.
Everything's really just momentum. Momentum and tempo. If you keep your tempo up, your spirits high, it's going to be a good game. Really. You just got to keep playing well.
I know you started the year at quarterback. I know you've had some troubles with your pinky and your hand. How has that transition moving into running back really changed the game for you?
Well, freshman and sophomore year, I started at running back, and then last year I broke my arm, so I didn't get to play the whole season. And then this year I came in at quarterback, and it was a different perspective. You know, I had to do a lot more things, had to be a little bit more focused. But going back to my home, I really love going back to my home at running back. I mean, I just get the ball, run hard, and try to provide yards for my team.
And I know you guys won pretty big. Looked like Tennessee Heat kind of came back at the end, put some points on the board, but really the defense held control of the game, you know, pretty much the whole time. How important is that for you on the offensive side of the ball, knowing the defense has your back every step of the way?
It makes me feel safe. You know, Coach May does a great job being our defensive coordinator and getting our players well and understanding what the game plan is and having our defense that I know can get a stop and us get on the field and try to advance the ball and score. It makes me happy. I know there's going to be some momentum when we get back on offense.
And I know we have fall break coming up next week, but we're going back on the road to Loretto.
Yes, sir.
And then 2 big region games to finish out the year. How important is it to go back on the road to Loretto, get that win, and then move into region play and, you know, make a run at the playoffs?
Intensity is really all I got to say. We just got to pick it up in practice. We got to be 100% on our game plan. Got to have every task. We got to do everything right, basically. Go to Loretto, have a huge win, go into these next 2 region games and just play our heart out and, you know, try to come home with 3 W's at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I think 3 W's, that puts you in the playoffs. So,
Yes, sir.
you know, congratulations today, 31-9, Eagleville over Tennessee Heat. I'm here in Mount Juliet with Brody McLemore, Nick Gould, Main Street Media.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Webb. I'm the owner and operator of Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We offer services for both men and women, breast, body, and face for both.
I meet with patients who are ready to schedule surgery. We talk about their pre-op appointments, what to expect before surgery, what to expect during and after surgery.
We graduated medical school and nursing school the same day, and I had things that I believed in and stood by that I wasn't willing to compromise on. So when he came home, we had to discuss that we were on the same page with how we treated patients and staff. We want them to feel like they're part of our family.
If you're looking for a great deal, look no further than the Yard Sale Store. Our locally owned and award-winning store is stocked with daily arrivals of new items at unbeatable prices. From housewares to sporting goods, flooring to furniture, we have everything you need. With our huge selection and discounts up to 90% off retail, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Visit us today at one of our 3 convenient locations or check out our website, yardsalestore.com, to see our latest arrivals.
I'm blessed through the blood of Christ, with a beautiful wife and family, to have served in the United States Navy, now serving the great town of Smyrna, and blessed that all of our boys went to Stewart's Creek. I'm Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage with over 20 years experience in mortgage lending. If you're buying your first house or your 5th, refinancing or building your dream home, please call or email me, or come see me at the South Lowry branch. It would bless me to assist in financing your dreams. Why the Hawaiian shirt? Closing on your home is a celebration, not a business meeting. Go Hawks!
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your pest to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out and he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
Welcome back to the Rutherford County High School Football Show as we continue to recap all the games played last week. MTCS traveled to South Pittsburgh and got their only loss of the year, losing 18-6. This MTCS segment is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Garen Yates threw for almost 100 yards, rushed for nearly 90, and accounted for the only touchdown on the day with a 15-yard run in the 4th. This game was scoreless at half, but South Pitt scored 2 in the 3rd and added 2 two-point conversions, which solidified a victory against the Cougars. Looks like the hopes of a perfect season for the Cougars is over.
Yeah, you know, they were an underdog going in there, even though they were ranked number 1 in the state in Division II. South Pittsburgh, very storied program, a lot of banners, a lot of championships, and I think both these teams will look back at the end of the year and say, hey, this was a good game for both of us. I mean, that's the first time that anybody's even challenged South Pittsburgh, And in the end, it'll be a good game for MTCS when they get into the playoffs and, playing some of the top teams in Division II. Like you said, South Pittsburgh and the Cougars were tied 0-0 at halftime. Then South Pittsburgh got it going a little bit. But, we mentioned last week South Pittsburgh had scored 316 points and had scored 21. Had given up only 21 all season. So you knew what type of opponent you were getting. You went down there and their subs didn't get to play none this week. I can tell you, last week I can tell you that, because that was a dogfight all the way to the end.
And they're an aggressive team. It sounds like they go for two pretty much every time. They really want to add up those points.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do that, and then a lot of people do it because they don't have anybody can kick it to the upright. So
that's true.
But which is probably the case for them.
Well, that's our MTCS segment, brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Blackman hosted Pure Academy on Friday and came out on top, 35-12. Caden Perkins rushed for 2 touchdowns, and Jabari Kemp ran one in as well. Carter Gregory threw 2 touchdowns on the day, one to John Drago Jr. and the other to Campbell Lee. Tyler Borampazin was 5 for 5 on the day, kicking PATs. Monty, the Blaze are cruising along after a slow start.
Yeah, slow start for sure. Tough opponents. This one not so tough. Pure's out of Memphis. They had one really good player, though. I can't remember his name, but he was pretty much the team. They probably had 25 players. It's a new school, new program, but kind of what the Blaze needed going into the open date with the fall break this week. And I know they're like everybody else. Most of them are getting off till like Thursday. I think they come back and start practicing. Most schools do, but it was a good win. They got their playmakers involved. Defensively, they stood pretty strong. Gave up a little bit here and there, but they gave up 2 good drives. But other than that, you go in, they took care of their business like they should have.
That was another game that you picked almost on the nose, Monty. I think you had 35-14. Pure Academy couldn't convert their extra points.
Yeah, the dreaded toe, I tell you, the dreaded toe.
So, good pick on that one, Monty. Shout out to the Blaze for their victory. PCA hosted Friendship Christian at Floyd Stadium in what was a battle for second place in the region. The Lions struggled to score and struggled to contain Friendship's rushing attack and came up short 41-3. This PCA segment is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Cooper McFarland accounted for the Lions' only points on the day with a 38-yard field goal. Friendship Christian's Tyson Walcott had 277 yards and 5 touchdowns. When a player has that kind of a game, it's tough to match that on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, really, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's going to be a Mr. Football finalist. He's and they have not voted on that. That's just me stepping out on a limb there.
A little speculation there, Monty.
Yeah, but he's a beast, and they're Friendship Christian's one of those programs. DCA fell in that mode that PCA just doesn't match up well with right now. They're not at that level. Now they've matched a lot of their opponents. They've got 3 victories this year. They've got a region win. I'm excited about that game they're going to have this week. I think it's kind of a telltale game. We'll get into that, I'm sure. But no, I just think, Coach Ferguson, he's been around a long time. And he knows the limitations his team has. And as long as they go out and, just bust their butt and play lights out, play hard, that's all he's asking for this team to do. If wins come that way, even more more the better. But this was a game they just weren't going to match up.
Yeah, I mean that's tough. You get a couple tough opponents, but the PCA is looking up this year. I think for their first 11-man season, I think
They're further along than I thought they would be. They really are. It's been impressive.
That's our PCA segment, brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Rockvale traveled to Manchester for a big region game on Friday and won pretty big on Coffee County, 31-7. This Rockvale segment is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Malik Hicks blocked a field goal and returned it for 60 yards and a touchdown. DJ Thornton stripped the ball and ran it back for 86 yards and a touchdown. Brishan Odell ran one in for the offense. Malik Hicks also got a touchdown from Brennan Mayhew in the fourth. Juan Urdaneta tallied a field goal from 21 yards. Huge win for the Rockets in region play this week, Monty.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a must-win deal. When you look at the way the standings are shaping up right now, they could ill afford to suffer loss there. And the thing about Rockvale, you don't know what you're going to get week to week. They've been really inconsistent because when they're good, they've got the talent, they can play. But and again, they get turning the ball over and things like that, and things go bad for them. They don't respond to it very well, but they certainly responded the minute they got off the bus the other night. They knew the importance. That staff knows the importance, and coaches, they'll tell you that they're not thinking about the playoffs right now. Yeah, they are. They know what they got to do to get in the playoffs. Yeah. Now, they may not talk about it with their team as much right now, but they know what they're going to have to do to get in.
Well, and that was a big win. I mean, Coffee County, they're probably out now. And
oh yeah, they're
0-3 in the region.
Yeah, they're not going to the playoffs this year. And you got 6 teams. You got 6 teams in this region, 4 are going. So they're going to get left at home, and somebody else from Murfreesboro.
I also saw this game could have very well been a shutout. I saw they had an 80-yard kickoff return. Yeah. Coffee County did, and then a pass interference called, and they ended up just getting it in, on a short run. But this game could have very well have been a shutout without a couple missed plays there.
They went down there and took care of their business. It was a good, solid win.
This Rockvale segment is brought to you by Moxie Pest Control, your neighborly pest service serving all of Middle Tennessee. Now let's talk about last week's Rutherford County Game of the Week. Oakland took to the road on Thursday night to take on Siegel. What was a hard-fought victory for the Patriots, 49-7. This Oakland at Siegel game recap segment is brought to you by the Yard Sale Store, where all items are up to 90% off, and Garbison Construction, who provides quality construction services for additions, remodels, and new construction on residential and commercial projects in Rutherford County. On the Oakland side of the ball, Dwayne Morris had 11 carries for 169 yards and 4 touchdowns. Ashton Jones had 14 carries for 87 yards and a touchdown, and Avery Hainsworth had 6 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown of his own. Craig Tutt had a pick 6 to get things started for the Patriots. Gus Ramsey had 3 picks and 4 tackles. Caleb Ellison led the team in tackles with 10, and Quentin Norfolk added another 7. The Oakland defense also sacked Siegel 4 times, led by Jeremiah Burnland's 2 sacks on the day. Maddox Grisham led Siegel's defense with 7 tackles, followed by Andrew Varner with 6. On offense, Caleb Watson had 2 catches for 58 yards. A.J. Cucchiera came in at quarterback for the injured Santel and threw 10 for 24 for 162 yards and a touchdown to Terry and Grant. Tough loss for the Stars. You never want to see any of these kids get injured on the field.
Santel went out early in the first half, but his replacement came in through a touchdown pass. They cut it to 14-7, but really that was about all the highlights after that. It was Oakland, their weapons on display, getting Hainsworth back. That's the first time he's played all season after having knee surgery back during the off season. So that's just another big back that gives them more depth back there, and then that's all they need.
It gives Morris a little bit of rest there.
Yeah, or they can put him at receiver. Just he's a running back that would start most every place.
Speaking of players coming back, I saw Creasy was back under center as well.
Yeah, son came back. Coach Creasy's son came back. They played both quarterbacks. Him and Patrick Freeman have done a great job this year, and so he got hurt week 2, so it'll be interesting to see where they go moving forward. Like I said, Freeman played extremely well. He's a sophomore. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes with the two-headed monster or sticks with one of them.
Yeah, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Santel and his family. We hope for a quick and speedy recovery and see if he can get back on the field. And that was our Oakland at Siegel game recap segment, brought to you by the Yard Sale Store, where all items are up to 90% off, and Garbison Construction, who provides quality construction services for additions, remodels, and new construction on residential and commercial projects in Rutherford County. That concludes our recaps from last week's games. Stick with us as we take a look at the standings, announce this week's Player of the Week, and hear from Laverne head coach Mike Woodward right after the break.
We offer services for both men and women, breast, body, and face for both.
People come to plastic surgery offices because they want to improve something that they feel is a flaw in themselves.
About 10 years ago, our men's procedures were probably about 10% of what we did. Nowadays, it's more like 30 or 40%. Eyelid lifts, liposuction, and we even do hair transplants here.
We are part of the community, and we want to be able to walk around and see faces in the community that we've made happy.
When it comes to building or remodeling, you need a builder you can trust. Look no further than Garbison Construction. Voted one of Rutherford County's best builders, we deliver quality every time, from start to finish. As a locally owned company with decades of experience, we're proud to serve Rutherford and surrounding counties. Let us help make your dream a reality. Visit GarbisonConstruction.com to learn more.
He shoots, and he scores!
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your past to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out and he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
Thanks for sticking with us as we continue to cover some of the best football played in the state right here in Rutherford County. In Region 3, Oakland sits on top pretty comfortably. Riverdale, also undefeated in the region, right behind. Siegel, Rockvale, and Blackman will battle it out for the last 2 spots, because as it appears, Coffee County's out.
Yeah, I would think so, unless they win out and something crazy happens, but I don't foresee that happening. So.
You think Oakland probably in the driver's seat here, but I don't know.
Yeah, Oakland Coffee play next week. Oakland still got Ravenwood, another non-league game, and they finish up with Riverdale. So, I think again, Riverdale and Blackman still got to play next week. A lot of stuff can still happen, but as far as playoffs, I think you're looking at Blackman, Siegel, and Rockvale probably for those last 2 spots, unless Blackman were to upset Riverdale.
Yep. Moving over to Region 5, Antioch and Smyrna are on top with their unblemished region records. Stewart's Creek, Cane Ridge, and Laverne are right behind with one region win apiece. McGavick may have lost their chance to turn things around with another loss this week. What do you think, Monty?
I've been impressed with Antioch. I'm impressed the way Smyrna has come back. They still have to play. That could be winner take all. And who would have thought, a month ago that Smyrna would be in the position to play for a region championship? I don't think many people at all would. But we did say things would get better, easier when they got into region play, and it has.
Yep, that'll be an interesting one. I know we still have that Smyrna Stewart's Creek, Battle of Smyrna coming up. Let's go to 1A, where Moore County and Collinwood sit on top, undefeated in the region. Richland is in the middle of the pack, 2-2, and the bottom four teams, including Eagleville, all hang on with one region win apiece.
Yeah, there was a surprise game last week. Wayne County, which beat Riverdale beat Eagleville, got upset by Huntland. Huntland's a team that Eagleville beat 35-0. So just goes to show when you get into the business of comparing scores, the math don't always add up right. So,
yeah,
because I've scratched my head on that one.
Yeah, I mean that region, it looks like it's going to be a bloodbath here in a few weeks.
Yeah, you got two teams locked down with Moore County and Collinwood. I'm assuming they still have to play one another, and that's going to be you won't know till late on Friday night who gets in the playoffs.
Pretty much.
That last Friday night out of that region.
Moving on to Division II, MTCS is the favorite at this point in the season to take the region. Friendship will likely take second, so now a big game between Ezel and PCA this Friday will probably determine third. Kings Academy is almost certainly out, with tough games against MTCS and Friendship coming up.
Yeah, I think the battle lines are pretty well drawn there. It's MTCS is to lose. And I don't think that's going to happen, but, stranger things have this year. So, but, yeah, I think that this weekend's matchup with Ezel and PCA probably is for third place.
Yep, and I believe Kings Academy is out. Again, I'm not exactly sure on the Division II.
Not mathematically, but realistically, yes.
All right, and we at Main Street Media believe that players deserve recognition for all of their hard work seen on display every Friday night. Monty, who is this week's Rutherford County Player of the Week?
Well, he had 3 weeks wrapped up into one almost. Riverdale senior quarterback Braden Graham, over 360 yards and 6 touchdowns last week in the Warriors' 49-7 victory over Cane Ridge.
Congratulations, Braden. Definitely a well-deserved Player of the Week for him. And now let's go to our interview with Laverne head coach Mike Woodward.
All righty, we're now going to be joined by Laverne football coach Michael Woodward. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Monty. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us. I know it's always good after a W. You're going into fall break, so kind of on a upswing there. It seemed like a game against McGavick where really things came together for you on both sides of the ball. And I know your defense, which has played pretty sound all year, kind of jump-started that thing, didn't they, in a 27-12 win?
Yeah, defense got us rolling. We got some big turnovers. We had 2 defensive scores and then 2 other turnovers to give us short fields. Offensively, we've had some struggles, but we were able to work on some things last week and clean them up and really just, stay patient. Our guys kept on plugging away and finally able to put some points up in the second half.
And, I know you have goals set out there and everything's still – you control your own destiny, so to speak, don't you, from this point on?
We still do, yes. We've got, like you said, we're on fall break this week, and then we've got, we'll have 3 more games when we come back, 2 of which are region games. And if we take care of our business, then we'll get into, playing in November. We don't need anybody's help yet. We still control our fate, which is a good thing at this late in the year. It makes you feel a little bit better knowing that, you can just worry about yourself and not also be scoreboard watching, trying to get help from others.
It's going back to your game, just tell us about a couple of those guys that made those big defensive plays for you.
So Drayden Holly, a junior corner that we've got, had 2 interceptions for us, and one of them was returned for a touchdown. And then Corey Latimer, a senior D lineman for us, recovered a fumble in the end zone to get us our second score. And then DeAndre Sims had our other interception. So we ended up with, 3 interceptions on the night, 1 fumble recovery. And as you can see, several guys being involved in that. And Dre Sims in particular, he's on a 3-week stretch now where in those 3 games he's had 28 tackles, and then he's had another 5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a block kick. So he's really, really playing well on that side of the ball for us.
Coach, you come out, you win your opening ball game, then you hit a really tough stretch there. How do you keep those? How do you keep it fun? How do you keep them being positive going out to practice every day?
Well, man, that's tough. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple of times there where it wasn't always positive, and we've had some issues along the way. What helped us in the middle was having a rivalry game like Smyrna. Guys are always going to be excited during that week. So we had a good week of preparation there. We ended up losing the game, but still, as far as guys wanting to come in and work and get better, they were doing that. And the next week was homecoming. So again, we had, like little extra perks and incentives where, the guys are excited and wanting to come in and play. And, so that helped us keep things afloat, if you will, and kind of keep our eyes on ourselves and what we had to take care of. And, I'm proud of the guys who have stuck it out. I'm proud of the guys who keep coming in every day and working, and so happy for them that we got that win Friday so they can go into this break and this little extra downtime, and have a good feeling.
Well, I know we're excited about that. And I imagine the head ball coach is a little excited going into fall break.
Well, it definitely is a better feeling going into fall break with that W. Made Saturday and Sunday a little more enjoyable, and then you know how it is. I got a few days where I do the list that the wife sent me to do, and but she's in better spirits. I'm in better spirits, so it's a good time right now.
How do you handle the open week with your team?
So we gave them 5 days off. So, as soon as we got done Friday, we come back home, and, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're doing nothing with them. So, if they're going out of town, great. If they're staying home and just, logging extra hours at work or whatever, that's their time. And then we'll come back Thursday evening, have a short practice Thursday evening, and then turn around Friday morning, have another short one, really just to, stretch and run, knock off some rust and just do a lot of Indian group stuff just to kind of knock those 5 days off and be ready to start game planning and getting ready for Green Hill on Monday.
All right, Coach. Well, again, congratulations. I know it was a big win for you guys, a big region win, and enjoy your fall break and good luck the following week.
All right. Thank you, Monty. Appreciate it.
That's Mike Woodward, the head football coach at Vergne High School.
What separates us from other companies in Tennessee, that's going to be our mission to our customers, is to always improve the quality of life. That's from taking care of your past to a friendly voice on the phone when you call, to a technician that comes out and he's competent, he's going to solve the problem for you. We're considered a full encompassing service, so we're going to take care of 50 plus different pests, and we'll always have your back.
If you're looking for a great deal, look no further than the Yard Sale Store. Our locally owned and award-winning store is stocked with daily arrivals of new items at unbeatable prices. From housewares to sporting goods, flooring to furniture, we have everything you need. With our huge selection and discounts up to 90% off retail, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Visit us today at one of our 3 convenient locations or check out our website, yardsalestore.com, to see our latest arrivals.
Watch it! Did that guy even see that girl on her bike?
Just like looking for other cars before switching lanes, drivers should keep their eyes out for those traveling on bikes. When a crash occurs between a vehicle and a bike, it's the cyclist who is most likely to be injured. Give cyclists room and do not pass too closely. Riders have the same rights and responsibilities as those behind the wheel.
Be aware, be alert. Brought to you by THSO, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
I'm Dr. Webb. I'm the owner and operator of Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We offer services for both men and women, breast, body, and face for both.
I meet with patients who are ready to schedule surgery. We talk about their pre-op appointments, what to expect before surgery, what to expect during and after surgery.
We graduated medical school and nursing school the same day, and I had things that I believed in and stood by that I wasn't willing to compromise on. So when he came home, we had to discuss that we were on the same page with how we treated patients and staff. We want them to feel like they're part of our family.
Welcome back to Toots Restaurant on Broad Street in Murfreesboro, as we continue to give you everything you need to know about high school football here in Rutherford County. Most of our teams are on bye this week, so instead of previewing matchups and making picks, we're going to look at each team's remaining schedule and determine what is necessary for them to make the playoffs this year. Let's start with 1A. We got Eagleville. Eagleville goes on the road to take on Loretto, then comes back home to finish with 2 huge region games against Richland and then Cornersville.
Yeah, Loretto, really tough opponent, but it's a non-region game. Richland and Cornersville, as the schedule works out, both those are ahead of Eagleville. I can't get my teams in order today. It's pretty simple. Eagleville wins both of them. They're in the playoffs and probably the 3rd seed. If they split, then we're going to have to get into some
tiebreaker scenarios,
tie-breaking stuff. And then, if they were to lose both, then they would be out.
Yeah. I talked to some of the players and the coaches. They're really excited, about their victory, and they have high hopes going into the last few games. So, hoping the Eagles will come out on top and make the playoffs this year.
Well, they've been a mainstay in it, but they've certainly made their job a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
This year, and they're backed into a corner. So,
yep.
Their game coming out of the break, that's just a game. But the last 2 carry all the meaning for them as far as, getting into postseason.
Now let's go to 6A, and let's talk about Region 5, starting with Smyrna. Smyrna has a huge rivalry game against Stewart's Creek at home. Not only an inner-city rivalry, but also an inter-region rivalry. Then goes on the road to Antioch and finishes the season against Cane Ridge.
Well, Smyrna's done a good job owning their part into the county, so to speak, the northern end. They've lost once ever to Laverne, and I don't know what their record is against Stewart's Creek, but it's certainly on the winning side. But the Creek and Smyrna, it will be a doozy. It won't be a must win. Then they've got Antioch, and then they've got Cane Ridge, the last 2 on the road. So
you'd like to think they can handle Cane Ridge. I know Antioch's a different story.
They're going to be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of they going to have a chance to win the regular season, or are they just going to kind of limp in there? So we'll certainly see in the last 3 weeks.
Well, and Stewart's Creek, just joined that region. I know that Smyrna Stewart's Creek game is going to carry a little bit more weight with it now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now that they're back in there, they get kind of thrown around this region, that region, but it'll be a good matchup. They're both playing pretty good football. Smyrna, particularly defensively, they've come a long, long way in a short time. So,
yeah, definitely the defense.
Both Stewart's Creek and Smyrna have the same schedule. So
Interesting. Laverne, they're going to go to Mount Juliet to take on Green Hill week after next, and then finish the season with 2 home region games against Stewart's Creek and Antioch.
Okay, Green Hill, obviously non-region game. Doesn't matter. Last 2 weeks, Stewart's Creek, Antioch, and home. Phew. Going to have their hands full in both of them, but like you said, the opportunity's there.
Yeah.
They're not eliminated yet.
I think Laverne would probably have to win one out of 2, and I think they'd be in a good spot. Lose both, most likely out.
I would say yes, out.
You know, that loss against Cane Ridge definitely doesn't help things, especially when it was just a 3-0 loss that really could have gone either way.
Well, the thing about the Cane Ridge loss, Laverne and Cane Ridge do have the same record, but really they're not tied because Cane Ridge has a tiebreaker over them. So really they're a game ahead of them,
Yeah.
you know, in essence. So that could bite them.
Yeah, it can, definitely. And then our last team in that region, we've already pretty much talked about them. They're going to be playing, you know, all 3 teams are going to be playing each other. So Stewart's Creek goes down the road to Smyrna, then goes a little farther up the road to Laverne.
Yeah, they've got Smyrna, Laverne on the road, but short trips. They finished at home against McGavock. You assume they'll win that game. So, you know, they're going to be in the playoffs. They're like Smyrna. It's a matter, you know, where at. Of course, they've already lost to Antioch. So Antioch would have any tiebreaker over them.
Yep. I guess that kind of means that, you know, that Smyrna-Stewart's Creek game, in essence, would probably be a battle for second place then.
Yes. But could set up a battle for first place.
Yep.
With as far as Smyrna.
Yep.
It's going to be hard for Stewart's Creek to get that top spot because they did lose to Antioch, and Antioch has not lost a region game yet. So.
And then let's go to Region 3 and 6A, starting with Rockvale. Rockvale takes on Pope Prep at home, then finishes the season with 2 more home games, but these will mean much more as they are region opponents. Blackman, then Siegel.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know about Thomas Santil and his injury at Siegel, but certainly they're going to have to win one of those to be in the picture. You know, you lose them both and you're out. So
1 out of 2 probably puts them in a tiebreaker scenario.
You got a lot of these schools right now. I think we touched on this last week. They're really in playoff mode now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, any district game is like a playoff game from what's left on their respective schedules.
Definitely that Rockvale Siegel game at the end of the year. You know, both teams are going to need that win to make it. And let's go to Blackman. Blackman goes down the road to Riverdale, then continues down the road to Rockvale. They will finish the season at home against Coffee County.
Which could be good if they can beat them. Probably that Rockvale game is going to have a massive meeting. Of course, so does the Riverdale. It's the backyard brawl, as it's known as, and has a little more enticement now that you've got twin brothers will be coaching against each other.
Kreisky versus Kreisky?
Yeah, I think it's a week they don't speak.
So do they not speak this week too?
No, they'll probably talk this week. But yeah, it's a funny situation. But yeah,
I think we already have our eyes on that being the Rutherford County game of the week.
Usually is.
All right, let's go to Siegel. They're going to go to Hendersonville for the second time this season at Beach, then take on Riverdale at home, and finally finish their season on the road at Rockvale.
Yeah, again, a non-region game. It doesn't really matter, but certainly Riverdale and Rockvale will for Siegel. You know, they find a way to win one of those. They're probably getting the playoffs for the first time in a long time.
Yep. All right. Riverdale hosts Blackman in the Battle of the Kreiskys. then goes on the road to take on Siegel. And the Warriors will finish the season at Oakland, which, as we've talked about, could become a battle for first if Riverdale's able to take care of business before then.
Yeah, it will be if they do that. But, that's an interesting 3-game stretch. You've got Blackman, who's been playing much better. You got Siegel, who's had success they haven't had in the past. And then you've got the 3-time defending state champs. So, be an interesting last 3 weeks for the Warriors.
Definitely. And last, we got Oakland hosting Coffee County, then goes to Ravenwood, who is, at this point, another favorite to potentially win the 6A state title. And then they'll finish the season at home in this game we've been talking about against Riverdale.
Yeah, Coffee County, that shouldn't really be any problems. Ravenwood, good road matchup, playoff type game. And then you wrap it up with your longtime rival, Riverdale. It's got a little old school in it. It's the first time I remember in quite some time that they played the last game of the year.
I like that.
Used to, they played the last game of the year, and the winner went to the playoffs, and the loser went to a bowl game. Go to the Tullahoma Lions Bowl or something, Nursery Man's Bowl, Tobacco Bowl. Then they realized, these bowls are nice, but, we can expand this playoff format and start generating more dollars. So
yeah, up the ticket prices. You know what they do.
Yeah, but it was it's got the old school look to it, playing the final game of the year. And, the way I look at it, if you said there's a team in the county that could get Oakland this year, I don't know if there is, but if there is, it's Riverdale.
Most definitely.
You definitely have the talent.
All right, moving on to Division II. MTCS goes out east to the Kings Academy, then goes to Floyd Stadium, and what will be the start to this Murfreesboro Christian school rivalry against PCA. They finish the season at home against Eagleville Harding. 3 region games for them.
Yeah, they're going to sweep all those. I feel like, barring unforeseen circumstances, they've had a magical season. That loss to South Pittsburgh puts no damper on what those guys have been able to accomplish this year. If you beat Friendship Christian, you've had a good year. If you beat them again in the playoffs, which you probably would have to, then you've had a great year.
You've had a state championship year, right?
Yes. At least playing for it. And they were so close a couple years back. So we'll see what happens with them.
Most teams are out on fall break, but we do have one team playing next week, and that is PCA. This is going to be our Rutherford County Game of the Week. PCA traveling to Eagleville Harding in a huge region matchup. As we've said, it appears to be a battle for third place and will secure a spot in the playoffs for the winning team. Monty, who are you taking in this one?
Well, this is a tough one here. Eagleville's 4-3. Had a little success this year, obviously. Have scored points. Again, you want to compare. PCA beat the Kings Academy by 4-5.
Yeah, it was a pretty close one.
And then DCA, Eagleville beat them by 4. It was 11-7 the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Eagleville won, and then the week before it was 20-15. PCA won. So, it looks like all those are kind of evenly matched. But again, when you go back to comparing scores, you get burned. But I'm gonna ride with PCA. Games that they have not been overwhelmed by size, talent. They've been right there in every game. So I'm assuming that they're going to be in this game, and whoever makes a couple big plays will probably come out the winner.
Going with the Lions. If that math is mathing, PCA by a point, right?
That's right.
All right, well, thanks for hanging out with us on the Rutherford County High School Football Show. Enjoy your fall break, everyone. We will be back in action next week to cover more Rutherford County High School football next Wednesday at 10:30. See you then.
You've been watching the Rutherford County High School Football Show with Murfreesboro Post Sports Editor Monty Hale and Nick Gould. Read this week's Murfreesboro Post for all the latest news about Rutherford County High School sports.
The Rutherford County High School Football Show has been brought to you by Webb Aesthetic Plastic Surgery and Med Spa, Moxie Pest Control, The Yard Sale Store, Michael Wilson with First Bank Mortgage, Garbison Construction, and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest on Rutherford County football.